Wash our hands, disinfect high-touch surfaces, and talk to your doctor about getting one of the vaccines that are widely available and effective in this fight. We can get through this together. From all of us at Danny King, please stay safe and keep it clean.
Danny King, the king of clean.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1885 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1885 silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. Only a limited quantity of these Morgan silver dollar coins are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-563-6468 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1885 Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic O mint mark of the New Orleans Mint. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1885 silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 136 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-563-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-563-6468 now to secure your 1885 Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-563-6468.
The motto for world-class competition has always been faster, higher, stronger. It's the same for Navien, makers of condensing tankless water heaters. Faster to install and set up. Higher performance and efficiency to provide endless hot water. Stronger with the industry's strongest warranty. All because of the copper-free stainless steel heat exchanger built in every unit. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
Your life, your hopes, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., it's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Tommy Tucker, conversations that hit home on WWL and Odyssey Station. Join WWL Radio on Facebook.
Love me do.
Tim Zimmer in Master Control, apparently. Big Beatles fan here with a Beatles twofer. Thursday morning, September 30th, day 32 of Ida recovery, 504-260-1870. That's the number, the Oakland Heart Jeweler talk and text line. If you want to talk to Doug Sunseri and you have a multi-part question or you think he's going to have to ask you something about your legal dilemma, you can call and hang on, and we'll put you on with Doug, 504-260-1870. If you think you can accomplish that with a text, well, then text it to 504-260-1870, and we'll do that. So, with that in mind, we welcome in Doug Sunseri. Hey, Doug, how you?
Good morning, Tommy. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for taking the time, and thanks for all you're doing some extra shows here on WWL in addition to all things legal to help people. Is there a general couple of buckets, maybe, Doug, that you could put the most complaints that people are having or problems that people are having with either adjusters or insurance companies or contractors or what have you?
Roofs. I think the big complaint right now is roofs, because I don't think there's really an objective standard to determine whether your roof needs to be replaced or not. And I think from the policyholder's point of view, they think the target's moving. There's several non-objective, tests that can be used to determine the viability of a roof. And there's really no standards in Louisiana that has that. For example, in Florida, the building code says if 25% of your roof needs to be replaced, more than 25%, you have to replace the whole roof. And so that has an objective standard to it. One of the tests that the insurance companies are using is maybe a standard where the bar is very, very high. And so I think a lot of homeowners are in a dilemma, because if they could get in a situation where they do not, they get paid for a patch, and then the next hurricane comes and the insurance company will come back and say, well, no, we're not paying for the loss because lack of maintenance. You didn't fix your roof to the full extent. You needed a new roof. So it's that sort of difficulty that they're having, trying to determine, new roofs. And I think the other thing that's upsetting some policyholders now, and I want to say this in the context, I'm like the complaint department. When a claims adjuster does a good job, they don't call me and say, well, thank you very much. I wanted to tell you, my claims adjuster did a wonderful job. So I'm just telling you from the complaint standpoint is adjusters don't get up on the roof and do a visual and say, your roof does not look damaged. And so therefore we're not going to write it up. But a lot of the damage, or much of the damage is not visual, especially if the seal tabs are not sealed down to the roof. So I think the roofs are the biggest issue right now.
I looked briefly when I was cleaning my gutters the other day, and it seemed as though the tabs were sealed. Can somebody tell that? If most of the tabs they can see are sealed, is that a good indication or not really?
Well, I think you have to go in all directions, because in this case, you had the winds in where we are in New Orleans area coming from the south and southeast. So therefore, the tabs on the north and northwest side may be intact. So you have to go to all, pretty much all four corners of the roof to determine whether the seal tabs, were secured or not. And again, I think the seal tabs, it's an adhesion that basically glues down to the roof. And when you lose that, that's when your roof is subject to the environment and water infiltration. And so that's, so it may visually look good. Now, here's the other aspect with patches. It's that if you need, I've had someone call last night said I needed, the insurance company wanted 51.1% of their roof patched. And which I think in that situation, you have to definitely get a new roof. But you're going to, if you do that, your roof's going to look like it has a black eye, because the exterior, you're not going to match the exterior of the shingles. So that's another consideration, is to have uniformity in the roof, because it diminishes the value of your house if you have different patterns of, exterior shingles on your roof.
I would take a break, and then we'll start taking calls. Thomas from New Orleans East, you're first. Couple of lines open if you want to snag them at 504-260-1870. Doug Sunseri, nice enough to give us some of his time this morning. If you have any questions about your adjustment or your claim or the adjuster or your contract or whatever, Doug's here to help you navigate the legal process. It's a shame you have to go through this, but you do. 7:21, time for traffic now, WWL.
From the Acadian Windows and Siding WWL Traffic Center, I'm Joshua Dausch. I-10 from Kenner, it's stop and go from Loyola Drive up to Vets. Then you're going to hit a more slowdowns through the 610 split heading into the CBD. On the Riverbound Expressway, work truck moving along slowly in the left lane approaching the connection. Traffic from the east, I-10, heavy from Bullard to the high-rise, and then staying slow again from Elysian Fields. Both directions of the 610 seeing normal speeds. Traffic from the west bank on the connection and backing up now closer to Lafayette at the elevated expressway. And on I-55 southbound in Brewdock, truck enforcement blocking the left lane at mile marker 7. Have a traffic tip, call WWL 260-INFO.
There are a lot of things that'll keep you up these nights, I'm telling you, with all of the things we're talking about right now with insurance claims and even just worrying about another storm. And for those of you that have lost everything, I am so sorry for you. I would suggest maybe when it comes time to replace the furniture, if you do need a bed, look into a Sleep Number bed. I'm not trying to take advantage of a situation or anything, just trying to let you know about them. They do give me, my Sleep Number bed gives me good quality sleep every night. And even if you're just looking to replace a bed, it might be something to look into, because you're more productive when you're well rested. It's a proven fact. I have a Sleep Number of 90. I like the bed nice and firm. I adjust the level of comfort and firmness with the Sleep Number, as can the person on the other side of the bed. So it's ideal for couples. It's 2 mattresses in one. And then I check my sleep IQ. Based on a score of 100, it's in the lower 90s, so I know I'm getting that proven quality, life-changing sleep. Don't miss the final days of the weekend special. You can save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus special financing. But it ends Monday. It's only at a Sleep Number store near you in Metairie on Vets next to Bonefish Grill, Covington, Highway 21 in front of Winn-Dixie, Houma, 1731 Martin Luther King, Magnolia, 732 Magnolia Lane. Wait, I'll fix it up. Give me a break here, Tim. Let's see. It's go to sleepnumber.com. Get all the details. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. I'm getting all tripped up because I'm thinking you should really call ahead to see if these stores are open. What with Ida? You can see sleepnumber.com for all the details.
Here's an important message from Brad Hassert with the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida.
License is required for any type of work over $7,500. And those who aren't licensed, to put it very bluntly, is we don't know who they are. We can't tell you that they're competent or they're any quality of work, and you often have no recourse. Those types of guys are the ones that typically take advantage of people in bad work or overcharge or essentially just theft. They take the money and they don't come and do any work at all. The problem with it is, though, that happens so frequently after any type of weather event. People they're anxious to get their stuff going. The board recommends that you verify licensure and insurance on anybody that you do business with. Anybody who wants to get paid in cash, that's always a bad sign. I know that you want your house fixed, but take a minute and just sort through it. If you feel like you've been taken advantage of, let us know. www.lacontractor.org, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that we possibly can.
That's lacontractor.org.
Newell Norman here for Gulf Coast Bank and Trust. I'm proud to bank with a local bank. Gulf Coast Bank is invested in our community by giving time, talent, and dollars to hundreds of nonprofits, making our neighborhood a better place. When I need them, I enjoy their friendly personal service, but when I don't have time to go to the bank, their technology allows me to bank anytime from anywhere. Be local, bank local, choose Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you. Member FDIC.
I'm Insurance Commissioner Jim Donlin with an important message for policyholders. Under a clause called loss of use, I've instructed insurers to pay evacuation expenses, including food and lodging. There were enough advance warnings from elected officials to justify your decision to evacuate. Getting out of danger's way was the right decision. I'm Insurance Commissioner Jim Donlin. If you have any problems recovering what's rightly due to you, call us at 800-259-5300. The Department of Insurance is ready to help.
James Taylor. Saturday, October 16th at Smoothie King Center with very special guest Jackson Brown. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. James Taylor with very special guest Jackson Brown. Another Beaver production. Attention business owners who suffered property or profit loss due to Hurricane Ida. Many don't realize they have valuable insurance coverage, which is often part of your property insurance policies. Leger and Company's forensic CPAs have been successfully assisting businesses for over 40 years in the recovery of lost profits due to business interruption. Visit legieR.com or call 504-388-7272 for a complimentary evaluation of your business interruption insurance to learn how Leger and Company can help in your recovery from Ida.
All right, 726, Tommy Tucker, Doug Sunseri, nice enough, host of All Things Legal and a very talented attorney and a good friend of mine that is nice enough to give us an hour of his time to answer your questions. So 504-260-1870, Thomas, New Orleans East. Hi, you're on with Doug Sunseri on WWL.
Good morning, Mr. Tom and Mr. Sunseri.
Hey.
My question is, I'm looking for someone that I can turn my work over to and let them handle it. I mean, the roof, the fence is all gone. And I already had several people come in want to charge me as much as $5,000 to put a blue roof on. Of course, I turned that down.
A blue roof?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
But I turned it down. But that's why I want someone to oversee the work and just let them handle all the operations of the roof and the fence and a lot that's painting the inside. So could you find a person like that, number one? And number two, I got 21 pages from my insurance company that I want to send to you to read, if that's okay.
Well, hang on. Let's see. Doug, wherever you want to jump in on that one.
Well, I think first of all, are you looking for a contractor? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. One I can trust.
Here's the reality right now. You got supply and demand. And the demand is a lot greater than the supply. So that's a difficulty. So you're going to have to do a lot of extra work, a lot of extra phone calls. One of my suggestions is walk up and down your street. And if you see a roofer, start asking him questions and start interviewing them and say, hey, who's next on your list? Or, that's one way of securing a roofer. It's just, first of all, you check to see if he's licensed in Louisiana, make sure that he has insurance, make sure his office is not out of his truck, but he has, some kind of home base. That's one practical way of getting it. I've told a lot of clients, as far as blue roofs, I said, if you had someone down the street putting on a blue roof, let's go walk down and talk to them. But it will be extra tough to do that. Now, there's a couple of ways also, as far as your insurance claim is concerned, you could hire a public adjuster who could help quantify your damages so that you can get the money in. And then you'll have the ability to hire contractors, or, in certain cases, you can, if you feel like you hit a brick wall and you can't go any further, you can hire an attorney who would ultimately get a contractor out there and go through the process in order to maximize your claim. But first of all, your insurance company is going to do an inspection of your house, and they're going to give you an undisputed payment if it's more than the deductible. So get that in other words, and that could be your seed money to start out. And possibly what you'd have to do is in phases. In other words, you might have to start with the blue roof, secure the top so that you have no more water infiltration. And then you do the tear out and do it in stages, and possibly that's more manageable than getting one contractor. So there you go.
Thank you, Thomas. I hope that helps you out, Doug. It's a doggone shame that people have to sue, or at least get a lawyer involved with their insurance company. I don't know if that's a function of state law or not, but something needs to be done, because this is ridiculous. Every time we have a storm with, I guess, the vagaries of definitions and what's this and what's that, and that's something that
we sort of have a little solution to that, and we'll talk about it after the break.
Well, good. We'll be looking forward to that. And if you have any questions or comments for Doug, 504-260-1870. Right now, we pause for WWL First News, and for that, we go to Dave Cohen.
From our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios, offering great rates on boat loans, it's WWL First News.
At 7:30, good morning. Here's the latest from your official weather station, WWL.
Like yesterday, we will have rain chances throughout your Thursday, but not as widespread, and the flooding threat doesn't look nearly as high. Some areas got over 7 inches of rainfall yesterday, so it was very heavy in some spots. Now, this afternoon, we have about a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, and it will be warm, your high temperature around 85.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone. New Orleans' pump and drainage system is nearly half a century old, and city officials say it was not built to handle the more extreme climate we're seeing these days.
We are seeing in this country at this moment in time things that we didn't predict that we would see when we were younger, seeing rainstorms.
Ramsey Green with the mayor's office says our flood control issues aren't unique in America right now. They're actually becoming increasingly common.
Miami Beach is facing it. They're seeing seawater come up through their catch basins. The lower part of Charleston is seeing threats upon historic buildings that they have never seen before.
Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
Green says fully updating the city's outdated drainage system would cost about $6 billion, conservatively. More than a month after Hurricane Ida, it's back to school today, finally in Terrebonne Parish. But WWL TV's Leslie Spoon reports it'll be anything but normal.
The school system is making it work by having high schools share buildings. Students at Terrebonne High will be in their own building from 7 a.m. until noon. Then starting at 12:30, Ellender Memorial High School students will have classes there. Meanwhile, H.L. Bourgeois High School students will share their facilities with students from South Terrebonne High School. Bourgeois students will attend classes in the morning. South Terrebonne students will have classes from 12:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Officials had planned to kick off French Quarter Fest today, but the resurgence of the pandemic canceled the plans for a rescheduled festival. It was supposed to run through October 3rd. Even as the fourth wave of coronavirus pandemic slacks off, could we see more? WWL's Chris Miller with that.
It's a question that came up amid hospitals evacuating COVID patients to other parts of the state during Hurricane Ida. Oxnard Chief Medical Officer Dr. Robert Hart says with the precautions they took, he's not worried about that setting off a fifth peak, but other factors could.
I want to stress, though, vaccination rates are going to affect this.
Dr. Hart said he hopes never to see a surge like the one we just went through, but something like the first three surges could happen again if people are careless.
WWL's Tom Perumian tells us we could see unprecedented changes in college sports after a memo by the National Labor Relations Board.
Sports attorney Doug Sunseri says if student athletes are considered employees at private for-profit universities, this opens up a whole new world of ways they can be treated when they play.
There's a lot of unintended consequences. And here's one that nobody's ever going to think about. If you're a scholarship athlete at LSU, you go play
play in California, will you be taxed the value of your scholarship?
Sunseri says student athletes could unionize and be entitled to certain employee rights, such as workers' compensation and potentially collective bargaining.
No one matched the Powerball numbers last night, so the jackpot grows to $620 million for Saturday.
CBS News Brief. Government employees will get paid. Social Security checks will go out. CBS's Skylar Henry.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats and Republicans have reached a deal to avert a shutdown of the federal government.
We are ready to move forward. We have an agreement.
The Senate will vote on the stopgap measure on Thursday morning.
A House committee has issued 11 more subpoenas in its investigation into the January 6th attack. Loyola Law's Jessica Levinson says this time they're hoping to hear from rally organizers.
They're really trying to go witness by witness, piece of evidence by piece of evidence to give us a full picture of what happened that day, who should be charged, and what we can do to prevent this in the future.
Britney Spears fans are elated. A judge has suspended Jamie Spears' conservatorship over his daughter. It could be fully terminated at a court hearing in November. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Here's Steve Geller with WWL Sports.
The Saints are relieved to be back home and look to put on a show for Who Dat Sunday in the Superdome. Jameis Winston's anxious to have the full capacity black and gold experience where the fans are on his side, unlike his previous tenure in Tampa.
I remember being on the other side, going against these fans, and I know how much of an impact that affected me, affected our team.
The Saints' record at home over the last 4 years is 25-7. They're 8-point favorites for Week 4's matchup against the 0-3 Giants. LSU enters Saturday night showdown versus Auburn, ranked next to last in the SEC in rush offense, averaging less than 3 yards a carry. Center Liam Shanahan says that the O-line knows they have to be better at opening holes for running backs.
As an offensive line, we got to improve and finish up, making that extra effort and doing what we need to do just to give them just a little bit of space to allow them to do what they can do.
Meanwhile, 22nd ranked Auburn is averaging 257 yards on the ground. They've got two talented running backs, Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter. Still no word on who'll start at quarterback. Will it be Bo Nix or former LSU Tiger TJ Finley? Today on Sports Talk with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Odyssey Sports Betting Insider Ryan Horvath gives his weekly NFL and college picks at 4:15. Then Fantasy Frenzy with Dr. Roto at 5:10, followed by the voice of the Saints, Mike Haas, at 5:30. Famous sports handicapper Brandon Lang has the view from Vegas at 6:10. Then at 7, Thursday night football between the Jacksonville Jaguars and Cincinnati Bengals. Steve Geller, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
For your Thursday, it's going to be warm in the mid-80s with a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. For your Friday, a little bit drier, but it's still possible we see a little bit of rainfall on Friday, a high around 87. 87 on Saturday with a 30 to 40% chance of rain. The better chance of rain on Saturday will come later in the day and going into Saturday evening. Sunday, 84 with a 60% chance of rain, and Monday, 84 with a 60 to 70% chance of showers and storms. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
Just a few tiny showers showing up on radar this morning. It's mostly cloudy, 74 at the airport in Kenner, Slidell, cloudy, and 74. WWL traffic.
From the Acadian Windows and Siding WWL Traffic Center, I'm Joshua Dausch. If you're traveling in from the east on I-10, slowdowns from Reed up to the high rise, and then stop and go from Elysian Fields into downtown. Taking the 610 west, congestion there now into a city park. If you're traveling on North and South Broad, traffic lights are out at Esplanade. In from the West Bank on the connection, backed up from Lafayette, about 25-minute drive time from Gretna to the Superdome. Coming in from Kenner, I-10 stop and go at Loyola Drive to Vets, and then you're hitting solid delays again from the 610 split into downtown with a stopped vehicle at the upslope of the connection. And on I-55, a southbound truck enforcement blocking the left lane in Rudock at mile marker 7, and that's causing a 2-mile slowdown. Traffic brought to you by B1 Bank.
Personal and commercial banking doesn't have to be complicated. At B1 Bank, our no-nonsense, hassle-free approach will help streamline your financial journey. B1 Bank. Be uncomplicated. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Have a traffic tip, call WWL 260-WINFO.
Thank you, Joshua. I'm Dave Cohen. How about we get back to Tommy Tucker now on WWL?
And how about we take a quick break and get back to Doug Sunseri so we can help as many people as we can with whatever challenges they have in terms of Ida claims with adjusters and insurance companies, and 504-260-187. If you want to text your question in, might be easier if you called in because Doug may have a follow-up question for you. Susan from Homa, you're next. 504-260-1870. One line open if you want to grab it. I'm Tommy Tucker, back in a flash with Doug Sunseri here on WWL.
Yeah, baby. Football's back, and so is tailgating. The Saints VIP tailgate party at Benson Tower is back.
Bigger, better, more delicious than ever.
And WWL has your tickets. 3 hours before Saints home games, all you can eat and drink. Premium open bar, gourmet buffet, just steps from the Superdome. Go to WWL.com now to find out how to score your tickets. The Saints VIP tailgate party. Now that's living. From BullseyeEventGroup.com and WWL.
You know, the true measure of dependability is, are people there to help you when you need them most and when things are not normal, right? Well, that's what Alarm Protection Services prove every day and proved after Ida. For example, the monitoring services never lost power, and when your power came back, they were there even if you weren't. And I had Alarm Protection Services come out and update my security. The house was built, the security system, the house was built in 1993, and the security system hadn't been touched. They came out about 4 years ago, looked around, gave me some ideas, updated the system. And one of the things they included was a carbon monoxide and fire sensor. And that carbon monoxide, as we learned during Ida, comes like a thief in the night, almost like somebody with a pillow to suffocate you and your family if you're not aware of it. So it's important as we move forward that you definitely have a carbon monoxide detector, and it can be all part of your Alarm Protection Services package. They've been quietly protecting New Orleans for over 30 years, very effectively protecting the city. And they're in a little nondescript building right there off the Clearview exit. If you look close, you can see them. But the main thing you need to do is call them and ask them to come out and give you a free security evaluation. 504-455-5277. 504-455-5277. You can go online to securityByAPS.com, and if you want to do it yourself, they can help you do that. But get the advice from the pros. Don't just go online and buy what you think is best. SecurityByAPS.com.
Hey folks, Bobby Hebert of Cajun Cannon here. As you know, living in South Louisiana comes with a mixture of blessings and challenges. With cleanup and recovery from Hurricane Ida underway, all Louisiana Dental Center locations are open. Even in the most impacted areas, our dentists are ready to help you and your family. Louisiana Dental Center, proud partner of the New Orleans Saints and your LSU Fighting Tigers. Louisiana Dental Center, we'll see you today. All Louisiana Dental Center locations are open.
Are you prepared for the retirement you've always dreamed of? A retirement full of possibilities and fun. How do you get there? Hi, this is David Compton with First Security Financial Wealth Manager. We help clients live their dreams of a happy retirement. We help them understand the 4 main components of retirement planning and give them a clear path on when and how they can retire, and we can do the same for you. Give us a call for a free consultation. 504-834-1150.
Advisory services offered through First Security Financial Wealth Manager Incorporated, a registered investment advisor in the state of Louisiana.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLS Consumer Access Org number 3030.
After the storm is over, if you think you have wind damage or missing roofing, siding, and gutters, call VinylTech. They have a AAA rating with the BBB, so you know they can be trusted. VinylTech has been serving the New Orleans Metro for over 20 years. They are the local exterior specialist.
Hi, this is Shay Mulkey of VinylTech. Let us work with you to get your home looking brand new again. I guarantee you will be satisfied. Call me, Shay Mulkey, at VinylTech, 504-469-7590, and online at vinyltechnola.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently. I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures. Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
7:44, 16 before 8 o'clock. Tommy Tucker, WWL. It is Thursday, September 30th, day 32 of Ida Recovery. Doug Sunseri, our friend, our guest, host of All Things Legal, nice enough to give us some of his time to try to answer your questions as it concerns your legal rights, as it relates to claims, adjustments, insurance, etc. Doug, I know you said you were going to tell me how to get around that, but I want to get to the calls if we can, and you can tell me a different time when you come back next time, okay?
Gotcha.
Because this text comes in, I think is a good one. It says, insurance will only pay for half of my 8-year-old roof and fence. If I do this, the shingles and the fence won't match. Can I fight this? And I think that's awful because it's obviously going to look like patchwork.
Absolutely. My response to the justice there, you cannot be half pregnant. You either are or you're not. You either got to replace the fence or not. And when they say you got to replace a half a roof, same response. You know, when you're at that threshold, you have to replace the whole roof or a whole fence because it is not going to match. And
so what do you do? What does he do or she do?
You know, I would say continue to ask for reinspection, ask for supervisors, ask for a new adjuster. A lot of times the squeaky wheel, the annoying squeaky wheel, but being polite, will change their mind. So that would be the initial recommendation, and say, I'd like to speak to your supervisor. I'd like to speak to a dispute resolution person within the firm.
And just say what? Doug, just say it's not going to match? Come on, man.
It's the same thing. You show pictures. You show pictures and say it's, you know, that we, you know, you have to do, it's a continuous process. You cannot do this in segments. Now, and, you know, if you don't, and I hate to say this, if you hit that brick wall after you exhaust all possibilities, then maybe you have to seek legal counsel. But again, you know, a lot of times when you do ask for it, for example, State Farm said, we're not going to pay for civil authority. Now, I have reports that they have made exceptions. And the exceptions they have made were with the people who were very, very diligent and I'm going to say forceful, not in a physical way, but forceful in continuing to pursue their inquiry.
Having worked, Doug, at a tire store where the adjustment policy was you would only adjust tires for the people that were the loudest, all that does is encourage people to be loud. It's a shame. It's a terrible policy.
Well, you know, one of the things it is, and I think we're trying to change that mindset, is we really have to prove our damage. The policyholders have to prove their damage. The insurance company is going to throw some seed money out to you, but you have to do it, and you have to advocate. You have to advocate. And sometimes that means getting 3 or 4 adjusters. And there is in the pipeline like a dispute resolution adjuster, and to say, hey, I want to talk to your supervisor. I want to talk to your supervisor. I want to talk to a dispute resolution person. And, you know, I would say maybe 20, 25% of the time it might work. So I would exhaust all possibilities. And, you know, I don't want to say it this way, but I think insurance companies understand that a lot of people will quit prior to that time of fully pursuing your advocacy because they're just tired and they just say, okay, I'll just live with it. And I think I'll say that's part of our unspoken strategy. And again, yes, sir.
Get the phone lines real quick if I can. To who we got? Susan from Homa, I think. Hey, Susan, you're on with WWL's Doug Sunseri.
Hi, yes. I'm in a bit of a dilemma. My house is supposed to be closed on August 30th. We were selling the house, and of course the hurricane hit. And now the roofer says I don't need a new roof. I didn't have that much missing. And I'm getting told by the realtors that a lender won't lend money and the insurance company won't insure my house unless I do put a new roof. So what's your answer to that?
Well, there's a legal term called force majeure, where you have an act of God that sort of changes the terms of the contract. And that's what you're experiencing. You're pretty much at the mercy of the insurance company and the title company and the buyer. I would say this: if you were in Homa, if you have a seal tab roof, 3-tab, I think you probably do need a new roof. There are not many roofs that were able to survive Homa because you had winds 100 miles an hour plus. And 3-tab, seal tab roofs are only engineered to withstand winds from 60 to 70 miles an hour. So, again, I sort of agree with the new roof because you might have been an exception. You might have been blocked from the wind due to a house that's next door or something. But I would venture to guess or speculate that you probably do need a new roof. It's just maybe the damage is not visible. And I tell you what, if I was the buyer, I would not want to buy your house in absence of a new roof after 110 mile an hour swept through your city. So I would say that you probably have to get a new roof in order to sell. And I think the insurance company is a very good chance that you would need one based on the analysis of the seal tabs and the other factors, because I just don't think many roofs survived in Homa.
Okay.
Thank you, Susan. You bet. Quickly to Al from St. Rose, I think it is. It's next. Hey, Al, you're on WWL. Good morning.
Yes, I'd like to know what kind of recourse do you have if your insurance company don't give you the amount that you think you should be getting?
There's a couple of things you can do short of filing a lawsuit. Again, like I said, you could ask for a readjustment and ask for a dispute resolution person within the company. Some companies have it, some companies don't. There also may have an appraisal process in your insurance policy you'd have to read. The appraisal process allows you to get a contractor to state your damages, and the insurance company gets a contractor, and there's like an umpire who gives a recommendation. That is one process of doing it. You have to pay for half of the umpire, and you have to pay to get a contractor to quantify your damages. So that's another possibility, and that is also used sometimes if those provisions are in your insurance policies. They may or may not. Those are the two things to do. And I hate to say this, and I'm not doing this to be self-serving, but we settle a lot of cases on the courthouse steps, and there's a reason for that, because there's an enforcement mechanism. Now, a lot of times what you can do is if you quantify your damages and you submit it to the insurance company, they may look at those quantified damages and say, we do owe an additional payment. There is some law in your favor saying that if an insurance company has to pay undisputed payment, or they determine an undisputed payment is due, they have to pay it within 30 or 60 days, or they could be penalized for penalties and attorney's fees. So, sometimes what you have to do is quantify your damages, submit it to the insurance company, get a partial payment. But you still have some left out there. And unfortunately, I'm not saying this to be self-serving, you have to hire an attorney to try to get the rest. So quantify your damages first, make sure they're quantified in a way that the insurance company can digest it. Go to dispute resolution, see if there's an appraisal process in your policy that you could possibly use. Try to get an additional payment. And when you hit the brick wall, that's when you probably need help.
Doug, quick question before we let you go. I know you got a full day's activity, and then you'll be back on Sunday morning. Will you back on Sunday morning?
We're off Saints playing at 12. I'll be back on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock.
Right. Please clarify, if a neighbor's tree falls on my property and I have damaged they own the tree and responsible for removing it, but I file with my insurance company for damages. What's the law with fallen trees?
Well, if it's an act of God, the neighbor's generally not responsible. The only time the neighbor is responsible if the tree was dead. You can prove that the neighbor knew the tree was compromised and he did nothing about it. So for the most part, unless the tree was dead and you knew about it, the neighbor knew about it. It's just an act of God, and there's no recourse against the neighbor. And you're supposed to get it from your homeowners.
We're running out of time. Somebody wants to retain you. What number do they call?
504-837-1304.
And you'll be back on?
Yes, we'll be back on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock after Mike Haas and the Saint Show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
All right,
really
Tommy.
You're a good guy.
God bless.
7:53, set you too. 7 till 8 traffic now on WWL.
From the Acadian Windows and Siding WWL Traffic Center, I'm Joshua Dausch, leaving downtown to the West Bank over the connection. Work crews